It was in the first Modi wave of 2014 that Jaitley, a quintessential Rajya Sabha politician, entered the dangal of Indian elections. We filmed him in Amritsar, mingling with cadre, waving the obligatory sword and even delivering an hour-long speech in fluent Punjabi.
ਵੱਡੇ ਵਜ਼ੀਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚੁਣਾਵ ਲੜਨ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਜਨਤਾ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਹਾਂ
Jaitley lost but would return to parliament as finance minister. The other roles expanding to other ministries like defence and corporate affairs, a testament to his indispensable role in government affairs. It was under his watch that the shock move to ban currency was announced.
Demonetization led to a currency squeeze for a couple of months. It is quite understandable that for a quarter or 2 quarters some impact could be felt. But in the long run, moves like demonetization and the GST are going to add to India's GDP.
His steering of the passage of the GST would draw more praise. In the age of 24/7 politics, he remained an exception. Here are rare pictures from his family album, with his wife, affectionately referred to as Dolly, and his children, Rohan and Sonali. His deep passion for cricket is also evident in the personal album. For years, he helmed Delhi's Cricket Association. By the end of Modi 1.0, poor health slowed him down. In 2018, he went public with his ailment. Until the end, though, his blog ensured that the sharp Jaitley take on current events did not fade. The last post just a few days ago.
Well, the big story at this hour, as you can see there, former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has died. He passed away at AIIMS just a short while ago here in the national capital after being ill for quite some time. He was just 66 years old. Mr. Jaitley, as we said, faced a series of health problems over the last couple of years. He had a kidney transplant last year. After that, there was a cancer diagnosis as well. And earlier this year, some months ago, his health deteriorated pretty badly to the extent that he had spent quite a few days of this month, in fact since the beginning of this month, in hospital at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, where he was also, we believe, on life support for the last few days. AIIMS putting out a statement that Mr. Jaitley, in fact, died this afternoon at 12:07 p.m., just under an hour ago, and that he had been admitted on the 9th of August and was being treated by a number of senior doctors. My colleague Arvind on the phone line with us at the moment. Arvind, what more do we know at this point? Of course, we know Mr. Jaitley was so critically ill for so long.
Yeah, Nidhi, former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has died at Delhi AIIMS Hospital days after he was admitted following complaints of breathlessness. He was in fact admitted at the AIIMS Hospital on August 9th, after which he was treated by a team of multidisciplinary senior doctors. In fact, a few days ago, when his lungs failed to function normally, then he was shifted to ECMO, and from then it was only artificial. Everything was given as per the machines. Now what we are hearing is that AIIMS has given a statement that a former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has passed away at 12:07 on August 24th, that is 12th, and they have given the statement that after detailed treatment by the AIIMS doctors, they could not bring him, and he died at around 12:07.
Right. Well, we are seeing a number of political reactions that have already started to come in. Home Minister Amit Shah has talked about Mr. Jaitley's death being a personal loss across party lines. In fact, we're seeing reactions coming in. Mamta Banerjee tweeting that she's extremely sad, that he was an outstanding parliamentarian, a brilliant lawyer, appreciated across political parties. Captain Amrinder Singh, the Chief Minister of Punjab, also talking about Arun Jaitley. Other BJP leaders are also tweeting at this hour. Mr. Jaitley, of course, was someone who was really not just a senior minister in Mr. Modi's government and earlier in Mr. Vajpayee's government back then, but also a big backroom strategist for the party and for the government, and someone who also had good relations across the board with those in the media. He was someone who knew how the media worked, how to effectively manage media strategy for the government and for the party. He was very good at doing that, and many in the media would today also miss him very deeply. Across the board, we're seeing reactions from political parties, from industry, from the media, and those who have known Mr. Jaitley for many, many years. Let's listen in to some of the other reactions which have come in just now. Well, we have Mr. Sudhindra Kulkarni joining us on the phone line now. And Mr. Kulkarni, you have worked with Mr. Jaitley. You were an aide to Mr. Vajpayee when he was Prime Minister. It's really very sad that we've lost two big leaders in just the last few weeks, Sushma Swaraj and Mr. Jaitley, and before that Sheila Dikshit.
Yeah, I'm deeply, deeply sad to know about the passing of Arun Jaitley ji. I worked very closely with him when I was in the BJP and in the Prime Minister's office. And like everyone who knew him, he was an extremely intelligent, articulate politician. And it was amazing to see how knowledgeable he was about so many things, be it law, finance, international affairs, or even party matters. He handled so many ministries in Vajpayee government and subsequently in the Modi government, but he was equally adept in handling party matters as an organizer, as a strategist, and as not just a strategist, but implementing those strategies successfully. We have lost, as you rightly said, two very prominent political leaders, Sushma ji first and now Arun Jaitley ji. It's a big loss, of course, for the party and for the government, but equally for the nation.
Right. Well, Mr. Kulkarni, thanks for speaking to us on that. In fact, let's listen into some of the other reactions that have already started coming in on Mr. Jaitley's death.
He was one of best jewels of Indian parliamentary democracy. India has lost the brightest politician of the country. Despite being a part of a particular ideology and organization, he was one of the persons whose connectivity with people of other political parties, other strata, is uniquely registered in Indian society. And he would be inspiration for the posterity, particularly in politics, that he has always been above the sectarianism. Secondly, most important thing that he was a disciplined and dedicated cadre of the ideology. I am giving one example which is very rarely known to the people. When Janata Party government was formed in 1977 after the emergency, historically Janata Party was formed. It was a prestige for anybody to be part of the national executive of the Janata Party. Janata Party was formed by the merger of the four major political parties of the country: Jana Sangh, Socialist, Congress O, and Lok Dal. And when Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad suggested him not to be part of the national executive because the ABP kept itself from politics, he immediately resigned from the Janata Party.
Yes.
He was additional Solicitor General during Vishwanath Pratap Singh government. When the crisis was there, he resigned. Therefore, I consider him that besides being a politician and an intellectual, he has also connected with the media largely. He is also distinctly known for friendly relationship with the media and giving importance to the fourth estate and recognizing the significance of the fourth estate in parliamentary democracy.
I had actually a very close personal relationship with him. He was a very dear family friend, and I've said this many a time publicly that he was almost like a mentor of sorts to me, and I had the good fortune, in spite of being from a different political party, to have been guided, mentored by him even before my political career began, throughout the time that I was in Parliament after I lost the election. And he was truly unique in that sense, and he was an excellent parliamentarian, without a doubt, one of India's greatest legal minds. And I think he'll be they don't make people like him anymore, in the sense that he had a unique ability to charm people from the opposition, from different parties, with his wit, with his warmth. And you're absolutely right that he had the ability, which very few politicians in India have today, to really bring people together. And I always say leadership is not about choosing sides, it's about bringing sides together. And he, in that sense, was a true leader.